What is the most productive way of finding motivation, or what is the most productive motivator? Motivation is not a standalone concept. It is attached to a goal. The goal is the purpose. Motivation would be the incentive to obtain the purpose. If you're seeking motivation but have no goal, where is your motive? Now let's explore the foundation of goals, or what I consider to be the underlining foundation of all of it. All living things as we understand them have goals if you think about it. They basically boil down to live, survive, and procreate, to ensure the survival of one species. One can argue that human beings don't adhere to the simplicity due to what we consider higher cognitive thinking. But all things living share this petri dish that we call Earth, and one of many requirements, such as absorption of oxygen from the fluid we displace as material beings, a fluid held to the surface of this planet by gravity. And yes, although they produce much more than they consume, even plants require oxygen. And even the motivation that is simple curiosity is one that is included in the goal of advancing the species, thus falls under survival. So, given that all things living on this planet share so close in what is required to live, the simplest goal, even to overcome natural selection and survival, being that if living things didn't share these goals, they surely would not be around today. And also keeping in mind that human beings share 60% of their genetic code with bananas, I would conclude this to be sufficient evidence that we all share these primal instincts and inherent goals that take precedence over all things, including procreation, and/or the natural instincts to care for, take care of, nurture, help others and/or animals such as pets or plants, even if you're not fully aware of any biological urge to reproduce. So you were born and you're surviving. Well, looks like you want a baby. Whether that baby is a baby, or a restored 1967 Chevy Impala, or the mathematical equation that can quantify all of existence due to your inherent curiosity, which plays a pivotal role in advancing your species, thus ensuring survival. Or you simply want to be adored and admired, maybe taking your place as a leader or influencer, which in turn would attract a formidable partner, or place you in the role of a parent without necessarily having to have children, leading us back to the motivation of procreation. Now, let's explore productive forms of motivation based on the observations made here, simply for a foundation to come back to when you hit the wall of existential nihilism. For those whose goal is simply destruction, I'll expand upon that as a separate topic on another day. With a super simplified idea of what the bottom line of your goal is, now we can begin to find a productive means to that goal. Motivation. Let's take a look at the two types of motivation, positive and negative. And when I mention negative, I'm not referring to the things that stand in the way of being motivated. Things such as hopelessness, overwhelming yourself, fear of disapproval or criticism, perfectionism, undervaluing rewards, or low frustration tolerance. I'm referring to negative motivation you can use as like a force behind you propelling you forward, a punishment-based boosting method. And positive motivation is more along the lines of a carrot being held in front of you, pulling you forward, a reward-based encouragement method. Maybe you've heard that there are two types of people in this world. People that are either running away from something or running towards something. It's a good practice to avoid those who are simply just running away from things, because any problems they may cause they will simply leave for someone else to solve, and it would be ideal to have both types of motivation simultaneously. It would seem that fear could be a powerful motivator. Although it is a negative motivation, I've heard it said that conscientious people can be almost entirely motivated by fear of failure. Now, something to watch out for are motivations that are simply malevolent or malicious, because these might cause problems of their own and be effective in providing others with motivation to provide your undoing, a high probability of biting you in the ass. If you put your focus on things like anger, resentment, spite, revenge, and wrath, you're likely to push for success at other people's expense and will burn bridges and create enemies, and overall less success in maintaining the goals you seek to obtain. Do not let these things be your motivation. The satisfaction is short-lived and the fallout will remain. Instead, it's best to pursue motivations that help others, and you'll acquire more allies this way as well. Things such as bravery, generosity, morality, education, truth, honor, and justice. Now, with all that said, I personally believe that competition is probably one of the greatest motivators. Compete with others. Compete with yourself. You got this far, keep going. You're younger than you'll ever be, and you're smarter than you've ever been. None of the primal goals for survival is to lay down and die. Do whatever you want to do. You choose. The goal doesn't need to be money, or a big house, or a nice car. You might even find these things can make you unhappy. Remember that you're made of the same thing as everything else. Be inspired by the tree that grows, or the fish that swims up the stream to reproduce, or the lion that chases their prey to feed their young, or the flowers that bloom. Do a puzzle, build a birdhouse, fix up a car, research philosophy and science and watch movies, read, write, tell stories, run a race. Shit, write a video essay on motivation and post it on YouTube. And don't worry about criticism and negative opinions. To survive is to live. Nobody else is you.